The BBC apparently two things. Number one, it's sorry for limiting its sports coverage, given the extraordinary support among his colleagues that Gary Lineker has garnered. And number two, the BBC has tried to report on its own activities and has asked the BBC management for a comment. I don't know whether they've got it yet, but it is madness, utter madness. There's also on the BBC, they've got a thing where you have to press a button because the BBC warned you that it's going to provide you with Twitter comment. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Such anxiety about what? About a means of communication. And this is supposed to be the national channel. This is supposed to be auntie or mother or whatever it is, the channel that covers British values, Britishness, and what is it involved? It's involved in some sort of squalid squabble about a presenter who has made a perfectly reasonable observation, who is not a newscaster, who is doing another job. It is absurd that anybody who happens to be doing any other job on the BBC should be bound by these silly rules. They've got it badly wrong, as indeed Starmer has said. They've got it badly wrong. It's not impartial for the BBC to cave in to Tory MPs complaining about Gary Lineker. It's the opposite of impartial, he has said. They got this badly wrong, and now they're very, very exposed. And Richard Sharp, again, there are calls for him to stand down. I wish he'd actually listen to what people say. His job is to listen. It's the BBC's job to pronounce, but the chairman's job is to listen, not only to his colleagues and the people who are employed in the BBC, but also to the people who switch on and listen and watch, or in my case, switch off today. I hope many people have followed my example and done a massive switch off of BBC. I have no interest in watching the sport anyway, but I certainly won't be looking at BBC products. I have just very briefly checked the BBC news site. And as I say, fresh calls for Sharp to resign, and even the former BBC Director General, Greg Dyke, said the ongoing controversy about Richard Sharp, who he said he liked, helped fuel perceptions that the organisation was failing to stand up to government pressure. The organisation under Richard Sharp has demonstrated that it is the government's poodle. Sit and it sits. Stand and it stands. Go for a walk and it defecates over the entire country. No, this is not a national broadcasting unit. This is mimicking the sort of Russian rubbish which is peddled every day on Russian media. And I have seen it, I have witnessed it. And I went to the BBC in the thought that the BBC would be shocked and would write about it. It did. I don't think it would do so today. It would giggle and say, oh, we do the same thing. Shame.